Have you ever taken a photo that represents everything that you feel in your heart? Hey, my name's Rolinda. You're here in my studio on beautiful Walnut Ridge. Bob and Jackie took a photo that represents their untamed mountain souls. And what a joy it was to co-create a legacy painting with them right here on Walnut Ridge. And now you get to watch the co-creation of Untamed Mountain Soul from the most amazing reference photo. Our first thing that we need to decide is how important, like what's more important, more sky or more wildflowers? So once we know that, you can see that both photos have grid marks. I've marked it out to thirds, quadrants of thirds, and I've also marked out your beautiful canvas to thirds. And once I know how much sky, what the priority is it down here with the wildflowers or more sky, then I'll be able to actually start laying and mapping out the canvas, which is super fun. Here's a quick preview. Here's the glass palette. We've got the oil paints in here, and then the wild ones down here. We have all of our amazing colors. Here is a little quick explanation of Bella Rotta, which means beautifully broken in Italian. There are 3 layers of originality. We have the crust, we have the canvas, and then we have the paint. And this paint is getting ready to go on here using your reference photo. So really this technique has been developed by me, designed by me, and I love working with it. There's so much originality that happens on the surface of the actual painting before I start painting, unlike a traditional oil painting where the oil paint is where the originality comes into. So really those 3 layers of originality, crust, canvas, and then paint, makes this such a special piece. And then to make it even more incredibly special is your legacy, your image, your experiences. And as we co-create together, this painting is truly going to come alive. Typically when I paint, I actually start at the top and work my way down, and from the back and work my way front. So that means I'm gonna be painting the sky first, and then those mountains back there, and then this range, and then this range, and then this range, and then that range, and then this big giant rock in the foreground with the wildflowers. But what's so cool is when you look at my palette, you can already tell where I'm starting. So a couple of thoughts on color. Frankie, no, she wants me to hold her while I do this. Here are the colors. So we have cobalt teal, cobalt blue, and then French ultramarine blue, and then my lovely, beautiful white. I love it. And this is the brush I'm using. It's actually a very wide brush. You can kind of tell how big it is. And it's has a little bit of stiffness to it, but it's allowing me to merge and make all of those beautiful colors on this glass palette. So, here we go. Okay, so just so that you can remember, cobalt teal is down here. I've already started, you can see how I do this cast iron skillet cooking where I'm merging all the colors and building on this gradation of color, just like you see here. So I actually started with the furthest away part of the sky, which is at that horizon, and I've marked out exactly where I want those mountains. Way back there. But I played around with the peaks, and then I actually wiped off those peaks because I want to get this really beautiful gradation of color. So we start out with that teal cobalt with some white, lots and lots of white. And it gives it this beautiful, soft green haze that comes up which is exactly what you see way back there in the distance. It's kind of hard, tricky. And then as we move up, I'm moving up into that mix between the teal cobalt and then just the cobalt with the white. So I might add a tiny touch of the French ultramarine blue on one of the corners, potentially, but I won't know that until I get the clouds on there. But isn't that yummy? We have French ultramarine blue coming in with that cobalt blue and that teal cobalt. Very, very pretty. It's just so pretty. And the goal is to make that beautiful, bright, sunny Colorado day. So let me show you what that looks like with this really nice brush. While all of the paint is still wet, the goal is to merge those colors together and make this really smooth gradation of the sky. And you can just see how those colors start coming together. It's really important that I work quickly because you can already see it starting to set a little bit and get some pull marks. So my goal right now is to just go super fast and lay down a bunch of color on this first layer of paint. I love showing you this. Okay, so here we go. Remember, cobalt, teal, cobalt, French ultramarine blue, and then of course, this is where this gets actually really fun because the paint just keeps because I just dip my brush in. Here we are, and now we're going to start by mapping out some of these clouds and really finding where we want on this wet paint. We're going to be mixing it in so that we actually pull those undercolors into the clouds. All right, so let me go focus. This truly feels like my secret weapon. I love making clouds. They are so fun. There's so many brush strokes and movements, and the key is to go really fast. You can feel that in the movement of the clouds, and using this same brush that I laid that backdrop on, we're able to now really get some really great movement. In the reference photo, there are those beautiful banks of darker clouds, that shadow that's cast from the belly of the cloud versus where the highlights are with that bright, bright white where the sun is hitting those highlights. The goal is to get that same kind of fill where you get the belly of the cloud with some shadow, and just ever so lightly moving all those colors around to give that kind of feathery kind of fill. Well, this is Georgie. He loves being the rug. Okay, you can tell every time I show you the palette that new stuff is happening. So here we have French ultramarine blue, and I've started, cadmium orange. Okay, so this is burnt sienna. Burnt sienna makes French ultramarine blue kind of grayish. So this really fuzzy, soft, smoky blue. So we can make some mountains. Okay, it's starting to come together. Remember how I told you how I start at the top, work my way down, and from the back and work my way front? So we've got those far distant mountains coming in, and it is so delicious. This color right in here is coming from adding that tiny bit of cadmium orange into that mix. So we still have that French ultramarine blue coming with the burnt sienna, and now a tiny bit of cad to make it a little more green. And now it's time to build this big mountain range, and you can even see those tiny little bits of snow in the crevices. So here is where a painting gets painterly. Painterly is actually a thing that is desired in paint, and that is when you feel so confident about a mark that you use your brush, you make the mark, and you leave it. And those are beautiful painterly marks, and I feel so grateful for this amazing brush that makes these beautiful marks. So it's coming together. I absolutely adore getting to know the reference photo more and more. So let me pull this in. Whoa, sorry, I should have done that before I started the video. But as I zoom in on this image and we look at the different shapes and colors and stuff, you can see these beautiful lines where the vegetation changes, and you have like these patches of what I am going to assume are these types of patches, which we are going to just make believe that those are possibly all aspens. So you see how the mountain kind of peaks around with the different colors. So I was coming in, this is so fun. Okay, back over here. Again, French ultramarine blue, but now we're introducing some sap green, a little bit more of this cadmium orange and burnt sienna to actually make these beautiful, soft, fuzzy greens. And then from the palette, we're gonna come over here so you can see already those distant mountains have completely pushed back. This is like such a fun thing to show you, and before I scrape it off, so I always scrape everything off with my razor blade, but this is what you would call an experiment. This is like mad science, trying to find the right color for your painting. And it's so fun because you know the sap green and then the French ultramarine blue and the cobalt blue. This is actually quinacridone magenta, and then of course the burnt sienna. And I've been trying to find the right color. Oh, and then a little bit of raw sienna, the right color for the evergreens. And in reality, we'll probably use all of these colors. But I'm like, that's maybe a little too purple, and that's a little too dead, and that's, just right. I feel like Goldilocks. So then we come over here and you can see how I've laid in all of those beautiful, fresh, bright greens, and then coming in with my crazy paintbrush that I give a haircut to, just making the indications of those evergreens so that we have those beautiful layers. And it does not take very much to make it feel like all of a sudden we have this magnificent forest. We have totally had an explosion of color, so this is so fun. So this color right here is called Hansa Yellow Orange, and it is a cool color. It very, very exciting to try to use that color. Here we are with all of the greens, the blues. I'm feeling really happy with the sky and with the distant mountains. I just feel very delighted. It has a very painterly feel, which means you can see the brush strokes, like it's very intentional. As we come down to the evergreens, I'm gonna lighten up those hits of light. You can kind of see how you see the tips of each individual evergreen. I'm trying to get that indication. Anyway, along with those rock kind of slides that come down with all that rock that comes down. We have a little corner of a meadow which will lead us and help us understand what all that is. And then this rocky ledge, now it's about coming in with all of the flowers. So I'm really pleased with where we're at. As you can tell, we are entering into fireweed territory. So this is kind of fun. I only have little teeny tiny tubes of, this is called crimson, this is called cadmium red hue, and then of course up here we have alizarin crimson and cadmium red light, and a little bit of cadmium orange, which are making these beautiful colors. I mixed in a little tiny bit of the white over here, and then you can see the ranges of the greens. Ignore that. I was getting ready to do the purple. I'm like, I need to talk about red first. So down here and then over here, they get a little bit bigger, and then over here they get really big. So the goal, in my opinion, is to get this fireweed. We've got great specimen of fireweed. Here we go. Okay, so this is a crazy color. I had to actually repaint the tube because it's so old. So it's this color right here. It's a very light hue of violet. And then of course, pulling in some cobalt blue and then those variations from the white to make us some lupins. I had this spectacular experience of seeing the bloom, mule's ear bloom in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And I totally would have taken a picture, but I was driving in my Sprinter van and there was no proper place to stop. But literally, like, the fields were just like, I had hit it spot on. It is so wild. One reason I love showing you the palette first is so that you can actually see where all of these colors come from for when you come and look at your beautiful painting. So I am extremely happy. I reworked actually some of the areas through here, changing those leaves to make them darker so they really pop off. I reshaped that rock because I felt like that actually needed to happen in order for these guys to become much more dominant and not distracted. And I am absolutely thrilled that we went that route. And it still feels like they're getting smaller and smaller as we come down to that tip of that cliff. And I think I want to just change that one purple dot and then add my signature. But I think we got it.